My name is Kevin Fernandez, and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, we're going to learn the exciting, action-packed game, Final Fantasy, the trading card game. Inspired by the video game of the same name. This two-player game designed by Mr. Kageyama and published by Square Enix. Heroes have come from all over to fight in a contest of champions. Now let's go to the table and learn to play Final Fantasy TCG. Okay, so welcome to our playthrough video of Final Fantasy. So what me and Dave are going to do, we already kind of gave our decks a little shuffle, but what we're going to do is we're going to just give them a little more extra shuffle just to make sure we don't want to be considered cheaters on this channel. We love games and we love the rules. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, now that we're done shuffling, we're going to hand each other our decks so we can cut the decks. And then we'll take them and we will place them on our deck zone. And then what each of us are going to do is we're going to draw 5 cards. Okay, so I will go first, and as the first player, I'm only allowed to draw 1 card. He can draw 2 cards as the second player, but once we get the game going, I'll be able to draw 2 cards. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard a fire card and an earth card, and I'm going to discard that and send it there. And I'm going to play Samurai. Now, Samurai has an ability called Brave, and what that means is when he's attacking, he doesn't have to dull. Okay, so after that, it's end of my turn. Over to you, Dave.
Okay, so I am playing the Lightning and Ice deck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm playing the Earth and Fire deck, if I forgot to mention that. There's also a third deck called Wind and Water, but we're not playing with that deck right now, so...
So these are the basic starter decks that anybody can buy.
Yes.
Like any collectible card game, though, you can build custom decks as long as it's 50 cards, right?
Yes, as long as it's 50 cards, you're good.
Okay. So like in Magic that uses mana, in this game we use what?
Crystal points.
It's crystal points?
It's crystal points.
Okay, and you said if I discard a card, it's worth 2 crystal points.
Yes. If you discard a card, it's worth 2 crystal points. But if you have a card down here in your field as a backup, it only counts as 1.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard 1 ice card, which will give me 2 crystal points.
Yeah,
correct?
2 ice crystal points.
2 ice crystal points. And then I'm going to play the ice forward Sid Reigns. And when Sid enters the field, I get to choose 1 dull forward an opponent controls, which you don't have any, and deal 4,000 damage.
This is where a character with Brave will come in handy, because because he can never dull, which means he can never be affected by that ability.
Okay, so I'm going to play Sid.
Well, unless there was a card ability that forced him to dull.
Okay, I'm going to play Sid on the field as my forward. And let's see, is there anything else I can play? No. I did forget to draw 2 cards, though, so I better do that first, and maybe there will be a way to play something else. It seems like there is. I'm going to discard another ice card, giving me 2 crystal points.
Folks, this is Dave's second main phase, so everything he's doing is perfectly okay.
Right, you get 2 main phases.
If any of you get confused on the phases, there's a list right here on the left or right side of your mat, depending on what side of the table you're sitting on. You just read that, and you'll be all set. You'll be all sorted.
Okay, so I'm in my second main phase. I've discarded another ice card to give me 2 crystal points. I'm going to use those 2 crystal points to pay a backup. And the backup is named Bard. And I will put her into play dulled.
Because all backups must enter the field dulled.
Okay.
They cannot be active just like all the forwards.
Okay. So, well, in some games it's called tapping or kneeling or whatever. In this game it's called dulling.
Yes,
right?
and yes, that's true. Dave hates that concept. He doesn't like dulled.
Yeah, because I think the opposite of dull is sharp, not active.
Yeah, he doesn't like this, but I mean, that's just how they chose to name this. There's probably some meaning. If any of you Final Fantasy fanatics know about this, I'm a pretty good Final Fantasy fanatic, but I'm not that good at my know-how. It's kind of rusty. If there's anything in the games, the video games, that kind of brings this up, put that down in the comments below, and we'd love to hear your feedback on that.
Yeah, I'd like to know where the dull came from. All right, so I'll end my turn, and it's your turn.
Okie dokie. So I get to draw 2 cards because it's normal for me to do that now. Okay, and what I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Okay. This is a tough decision right here. Okay. I'm not going to play any cards, but I will attack you for 6,000 with my samurai, who has brave, so I do not need to dull him when he's attacking. If I was blocking, well, you don't need to dull when you're blocking.
Okay. So if I choose not to block, then I take damage. But I can block, but my guy would be broken and sent to the break zone.
Yep. And for those of you watching at home, the break zone is your graveyard.
Oh, discard pile.
Yeah, it's your graveyard. It's your discard pile. Most card games, it's called graveyard. This one, it's called the break zone.
Okay. Well, this is kind of tricky because, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and block your samurai with my Sid Reigns.
Well, my samurai is 1,000 points stronger than your Sid.
Okay, so I do 5,000 points to you. Okay. So you're down to 1,000, but it refreshes at the end of the round, right? Back to the 6,000. Okay. So you're down to 1,000, but your 6,000 completely takes out my 5,000. So
yes.
Sid then is going to the break zone.
Okay, and that will end my turn, and it is now my opponent's turn, so Dave.
Okay, well, I'm going to activate my backup, draw 2 cards.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to discard 1 lightning card and give me 2 crystal points, 2 lightning crystal points. And I'm going to dull my bard back up to give me 1 ice crystal point. Now with those 3 crystal points, because one of them is ice, I can go ahead and play an ice forward. My forward is named appropriately Snow. Okay, he has a special ability. When Snow blocks, I choose 1 forward, dull it.
And for those of you who like Game of Thrones, it's not that kind of snow.
Oh, okay. So it's not like Jon Snow.
No.
Okay, he's got blonde hair anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to place him there on the field. And now he cannot attack, obviously, because he has summoning sickness.
Yes.
So then it's your turn.
So I don't know what summoning sickness. I don't know if it's like jet lag or if it's like.
I think it is.
Something like that. Yeah, you know. Oh wow, this is okay. This is a very funny thing for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this wedge card to give me 2 earth points, but I'm also going to discard another wedge card to give me another 2 earth points, and I'm going to play wedge.
You discarded 2 wedges to give you 4 crystal points, which allowed you to play
Wedge.
Wedge for 4 crystal points.
And Wedge has an ability. When he comes into play, I get to search my deck for a card called Bigs. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my deck. I'm going to search for it. There's Bigs. Get to place him in my hand, and I'm going to give it a nice little shuffle for my deck, because we are not cheaters here in Gamers Genie. I just want to remind everybody about that. We don't like that. Okay, and I will place that back on the deck zone. Let's see, what else will I do? Okay, well, I can't get Biggs any quicker, so I probably shouldn't discard him.
Okay.
Because I got rid of, but I can attack. Oh, wait, I can't. Okay, my Samurai has 6,000. He has 7,000. Plus, Snow has a special ability towards defending. He's a really good defender. So I'm actually going to end my turn because right now the other side looks very scary.
Okay. Well, then I'll draw 2 cards. Beginning of my turn.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right.
I forgot to activate my Bard. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Let's see here. I can.
While you're discussing what you're doing, there's really for those of you who enjoy Final Fantasy, one of the really cool things about this game is if you look at the right here on this bar for your character cards, it tells you what game these characters are all from. So you can be like, oh yeah, I love that game. I love this character. He's really cool. But for those of you who do play Final Fantasy, you probably already know what game this character's from without that. But those of you who don't, they tell you what it is. You can look it up. It's a little fun.
So my Snow is from Final Fantasy 13.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good because I am going to go ahead and discard. I'm going to discard 2 lightning for 4 crystal points, and I am going to dull my backup Bard.
This can't be
1.
good.
So that's 5. Now, what's interesting about the next card I'm playing, the name of the card is Lightning, and he's also from Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy fans, I know that she's a woman. You know she's a woman. Dave has never played Final Fantasy 13 before.
Oh, yeah.
Cut him some slack.
Sorry about that.
Cut him some slack. Please do not please don't like bomb us with your angry comments.
Okay.
He doesn't know Final Fantasy that well.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's why I'm learning this. I'm learning the card game, but I've never played the video games.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, this young lady, Lightning, she is a Final Fantasy 13 Ravager. My Snow is a Final Fantasy 13 Sentinel, and the cost required to play Lightning, it says here on her card, onto the field is reduced by 1 for each category 13 forward that I control. Well, I control 1, so that's why I only played a total of 5 crystal points, but I can play. She has a cost of 6, but I can play her because of that special ability.
Yes.
So the Final Fantasy 13 folks, the category 13 folks, stick together and help each other out. So that's great. I like that. So I play her onto the field, and she has another special ability called Haste. Some of your Magic the Gathering followers probably know that haste is usually associated with little raging goblins and those kind of guys who can attack on the turn they come into play.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a little cheap because the raging goblins are just 1. That's 8,000. Okay, let's not compare the raging goblins to that. They're stupid little drones who bash into walls.
Okay, so I am going to dull Lightning on my attack phase, And I'm going to attack you for 8,000.
Okay. Again, that's way too much for me to handle for that, so I have to let that slide, and I got to take damage on my damage zone. A samurai.
Well, you know, Lightning, she's just a great card and a great character, because
For you.
it also says when Lightning deals damage to your opponent,
Forgot about that.
I get to choose one forward you control and dull it. So let's dull that brave samurai of yours. Okay. So now he's dull. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn there.
Okay.
I'm going to hold my snow back for defense.
Okay. I will draw 2 cards because it's my turn now. And I will activate my samurai. Okay. Oh, I will activate Wedge too. Now, folks, for you at home, you may have been wondering, hey, Kevin, why does your samurai have that weird symbol at the top of the card by his name? That means I can play multiple copies of samurai out on the field at a time.
Oh, okay.
You see, Dave's cards, Lightning and Snow, they're unique cards, which means that he can only play 1 copy of those cards when they're out.
So you can actually play up to 3.
Yeah, I can play at least 3. I could probably play 4 too, if I wanted to. That just means I can play as many as I want. You know,
But
you don't want more than
didn't
one
you
main
say
character
that
running
you
around.
could only have 3 of a card in your deck.
Yes, that's true. I believe the game does only allow you to have 3 copies of a card in your deck.
With 4. So this game has what, 3 cards?
3 cards.
So you could actually play 3 of him.
Yes, and as you all remember, there's 1 samurai in the break zone, 1 samurai in the field, and that means there's 1 samurai in my deck somewhere in there.
Or in your hand.
Or in my hand. We don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna discard bigs, give myself 2 earth points, and I am going to play bigs.
These guys are like clones. They just keep popping up.
Yeah. And when a backup you control is put into the put from the field into the break zone, I can deal 1,000 damage to all forwards, and that will probably even out my odds a bit more. Okay, so let's see. What else do I want to do? Okay, I'm going to discard this black mage, and I'm going to also dull Wedge. So that gives me 3, and I'm going to play red 13. Which is one of the coolest characters in Final Fantasy VII, next to Cloud, of course. Him being number 1 and number 2 being Vincent. He's number 3. When red enters the field, I get to choose 1 forward and give him 3,000 attack until the end of my turn. I'm going to choose my samurai, and so now I'm going to attack Dave with 9,000.
Oh, and that's right. He has brave, so he doesn't...
He doesn't need to dull.
So you're attacking me with 9,000, so I have a choice. I can block with Snow, who has a defense of 7,000, and lose him. Or I can take 1 damage. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 damage.
For those of you back at home, I also want to point out, you may be wondering, wait a minute, Kevin, what's going on? You're attacking him with 9,000 attack points, but he's only taking 1 damage. I mean, shouldn't he take like 9 damage? Okay. When either of us deal damage, it only counts as 1 damage. The power doesn't really count towards how much damage you're taking in this game. That's really more for like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. This is really just if 2 cards were going against each other, the one with greater power would win and the one with lesser power would lose, but you would always take at least 1 damage.
Oh, okay. So that's why, and this guy, I did not block with anybody, so I did not take that 6,000. So 1 guy got through to hit me, and that hit results in me then losing a card.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, because
that's pretty easy.
I don't want any confusion for people who are watching this at home going, wait a minute, Kevin, you dealt him so much damage, and he dealt you so much damage. Why are you guys only taking 1 damage?
Yeah.
that doesn't really count towards damage. It just counts towards when you're going up against an attacker and a defender.
I see.
Doesn't really count if it's a direct attack.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and ready lightning. And I'm going
It's
to
the end of my turn, so my samurai is now 6,000 again.
Oh, okay, yeah, he went back to his normal level. That's good. Whew. All right, well, I'll draw 2 cards. And let's see. I think that I am going to okay, this sounds good. I will I'll get 1 crystal point for dulling Bard, and I will get 2 crystal points for discarding a card. That gives me 3 crystal points. And with those 3 crystal points, I can play a summon card. And the summon card is Shiva. He's a Final Fantasy 13 character as well.
Well, that one is.
And he has an EX Burst ability. I get to choose 1 forward, dull it, and freeze it. So I'm going to dull and freeze this guy. Now, what does freezing mean?
Freeze means that, now, again, to simplify for those of you at home, what freeze means is normally when a character is dulled, like let's say my samurai is dulled for some reason, my next turn he would be activated. But since he activated the ability freeze, that means my next turn he stays dulled until my turn after my next turn. So my turn will go, he stays dulled, then it's back to Dave, and I'm still dulled. But then when it comes back to me, I can activate Red, and I can use him in his 7,000 attack points glory.
Well, that's great. So I used my summons card, so now it goes to my break zone, correct? Okay, so that's used. And he's frozen and dull. So now on my attack phase, I'm going to go ahead and attack with lightning. She is attacking for 8,000.
Okay. Well, I'm going to block with Samurai this time. My Samurai cannot handle it, so I'm going to send him to the break zone. That'll kind of leave me defenseless for a while.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
But at least Lightning's ability did not activate.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you take your turn.
Okay, I will draw 2 cards. Ooh, this is going to be fun. I will activate Biggs and Wedge, but because Red is frozen, I can't activate him yet. I have to wait for my next turn.
So Red 13 is a red popsicle right now.
Right now, I will dull Wedge and Biggs, and I will play Barrett, which he's one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy VII because he has a machine gun as an arm, and that's awesome.
A machine gun as an arm.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes it kind of tough to eat, doesn't it?
It's a cyborg hand. He can probably add a little hand attachment like Captain Hook has all that
with
stuff.
This guy?
You shake him with his left hand.
Oh, okay.
Unless I can never remember which one, which arm Barrett lost, but
all right.
Well, Barrett's got summoning sickness, so I can't really do anything with him. Red is frozen, so I can't really do anything with him. I'm going to have to end my turn.
Okay, I'm going to activate my cards. I'll draw 2. Interesting. Okay. I am going to discard 1 card. And that's an ice card, so that'll give me 2 ice crystal points.
Yep.
For a 3rd ice crystal point, I'm going to dull Bard. which will then allow me to play Mog. He's a Final Fantasy 13 card. And when Mog enters the field, he's like Final Fantasy 13-2. What's that?
That's an expansion that they created for Final Fantasy 13 because they made the story for Final Fantasy 13 so long that it's got like, I don't know, I think there's like 8 sequels to this game now.
Oh, so it's a sequel.
Yeah.
A different chapter. Okay, so when Mog enters the field, I can search my deck for one Category 13 card. Oh, it's got to be a forward, and I can add it to my hand. So he comes into play dulled. I then get to search my deck for a Final Fantasy 13 forward.
I hope Barrett doesn't get frozen.
Let's see.
And for those of you at home, again, to find out if you got the right card or not, you check here for the game that they're from, so it'll tell you what this is from. Barrett's from Final Fantasy VII, just like Red is, and he is a forward. So if they say forward, if it's gray, then that means it's a forward. So if you even don't feel like reading, just look for that gray little box. If it's a white little box, then that means they're a backup.
Okay, well, guess what?
For those of you who don't like reading, I don't really like reading that much.
I'm going to go ahead and attack you with lightning. She will attack for 8,000.
Well, I can't really, I don't want to defend. So I'm going to have to take the damage, and I'm going to have to suffer your ability.
Okay, like we said before, when lightning deals a damage, I get to choose a forward an opponent controls and dull it. So guess what? He doesn't even get hardly in the game, and he's already dulled.
Okay.
Now, I could attack with my snow, but then when both of your characters activate on your turn, that would leave me defenseless. So I'm going to keep good old snow here as
and I got a super surprise for you.
Okay, let's have it.
Okay, so I'm going to activate Barrett and Red because my 2 turns are up. My turns are up, so he gets he thaws out. I'm going to draw 2 cards. And
don't you need to activate your...
Yes, I will activate Biggs and I will activate Wedge. Okay, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to discard Barrett to activate Barrett's ability, Grenade Bomb. Now there's a little S. There's sometimes orange lettering with a symbol by it. This one's an S, and that means you have to discard the same card as what is listed up there. So I have to discard another Barrett card. Okay. But I get to deal 2,000 damage to all forwards my opponent controls.
Okay, so she then is 6,000 and Snow is 5,000.
Yep.
Okay, that's not too good.
And I'm going to do tap these 2, dull these 2. It's really hard to get out of the tapping thing. Yeah. And I'm going to discard my Evoker for 4. I'm going to play Tifa.
She's back.
So, yes, but she's got summoning sickness.
Oh, that's right.
There is a card that can give Tifa haste, but I don't have him. He's a backup card. I don't have him.
Oh, okay. You got to have that card.
I do have to have that card. So I'm going to attack with Red, though, for 7,000. Mr. 5,000 and freezes me. I'm
gonna go ahead and let that damage come through, and then I'll take a card to my damage zone. So I've got 2 out of my 7 there, and you've got 2, so we're tied at this point.
And I will attack with Barrett as well because he wasn't happy for you dulling him ahead of time.
But you're only attacking for 6,000. But again,
he's 5,000.
I'm 5,000.
That's still enough for Barrett.
Well, I don't think I want to take. Man, it's hard to know what to do here. Whether to take a damage at this point or to block. You've got 3 forwards. I've only got 2. I am going to go ahead and take that 3rd damage. Okay, so there's my 3rd damage in my damage zone. I hope I'm doing the right thing here. We'll see. Okay, so are you done?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm going to go ahead and activate my cards to get them all ready to go, and I will draw 2. Okay. Let's see. I will discard 1 lightning for 2. That'll give me 2 lightning crystal points, and then I will dull these 2 backups for 4 crystal points, and which allows me then to play another forward. And this guy is Gilgamesh. This guy has like 6 arms. He's a Final Fantasy 13 commando. He's a bad dude. He cannot be returned to my hand by any opponent's summons or abilities. So if you have anything that bounces cards to my hand, can't bounce that guy. And he's got 8,000 attack.
There's ways to deal with him.
Okay, so out here you have an 8,000 defender, and I have an 8,000 attacker with lightning. But I could team up Snow and Lightning to attack for 15,000.
That's true.
If I wanted to. Okay, and then you could, but that, if you block for 8, if you block,
keep going.
If you block for 8 against my 15,
I'm toast.
you're toast.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm
And I got plans for that card.
I'm gonna team up Lightning, and I'm gonna team up with Snow, and we're gonna attack for 15,000.
Okay, I'm gonna just take the damage because I got plans for that card, and it looks like I get rid of Biggs.
Another Biggs.
Another Biggs.
Bites the dust.
So I can't discard Biggs to play Biggs again.
Okay, well, I'm going to end my turn right there and let you go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to activate Barrett and Red. I almost called him Beryl. I'm so sorry, folks. I love Final Fantasy VII just as much as you do. I promise. And okay, I'm gonna. Oh, I can't do magic yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna discard this Golem card to give myself 2 Earth points. I'm gonna dull Biggs. I'm gonna play Vincent. I'm gonna toll, and Vincent has an ability called First Strike, which means when he's defending, I get to do my damage to him first. Which is really fun if you're going against a card like Gilgamesh. Mr. 8,000 kills me at 1 shot. Okay, so let's see. What am I going to do? I got to really think this through because he's still got that 8,000 guy. I wish I could attack with Tifa. Attacking with Tifa would be the smart thing because that would mean if I attack with her, he would leave me alone and not risk killing his own character. Let's see. I will attack with Vincent because he has First Strike and he can deal 7,000 damage ahead of time.
But doesn't he have summoning sickness?
Oh, no, wait. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Again, folks, we don't like cheating. So I will definitely attack with Tifa with her 8,000 attack because she is the strongest card I have. It's smart.
Okay, so I can block with Gilgamesh for 8, and then both of our cards would be broken and go to the break zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I could take another point of damage, which
yes.
I think I'm going to go ahead and do that.
So that means you only need 3 more. Well, he's still got Gilgamesh, and none of my guys are strong enough to take him on. And Vincent is got summoning sickness. I don't know if that means he's really sleepy or he's like throwing up. I don't know what that means, but I don't. It's a weird picture. Okay, so I will end my turn, and I'll send it back to Dave.
I'll go ahead and activate my cards.
Dull.
And then I will draw 2. Let's see.
Dull. The thing that this game is not. This game is super exciting and fun. It's not dull. Whew, okay.
Okay, let's see.
All right.
Well, I am going to go ahead and discard one ice card for 2 crystal points. And
2 ice crystal points.
2 ice crystal points.
Need to be
and then
specific.
I will dull Bard for the 3rd. And I'll play another Shiva card. This
Not
is
fun.
A summon. And I get to choose one forward, dull it, and freeze it. So I'll go ahead and dull red again and freeze him again. So that's that.
I hate that frozen ability, folks. It's not fun.
Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to discard a lightning card to give me 2 crystal points, 2 lightning crystal points, and I'm going to play another Final Fantasy 13 carry. I hope I pronounce this guy's name right. Rigdia?
Again, I've never played Final Fantasy 13, so if you guys know how to properly pronounce it, please let us know in the comments. You can even message me at
R-Y-G-D-E-A, so I'm assuming it's like Rigdia. Or
probably.
Rigdia.
If you know how to pronounce this name correctly, you can tell me on Twitter, Facebook, or you can just write it down in the comments below. Your feedback for this, for our pronunciation and everything, is much appreciated.
Okay, so
And we apologize if we're butchering any names.
when Rigdia enters the field, I get to choose one active forward and deal it 3,000 damage. So, Vincent, you're going down from 7,000 to 4,000. So he has 3,000 damage. And so let's see, you've got a 6,000 and a 4,000 showing. Well, I am going to go ahead and I am going to attack with lightning for 8,000.
Okay, I'm going to take the damage
Okay.
and the ability that comes with it.
Okay, so now you have 4 damage, and
Yeah.
I have 4 damage.
We're tied.
You know, I think I'm just going to go ahead now and attack with Gilgamesh for 8,000.
Well, I can't take that. Oh, man. But if I don't, I could lose the game. I'm going to do it.
Wow.
Ah, but an EX burst comes. I get to deal 6,000 damage to a card, and I will deal 6,000 damage to the card you just played.
Okay, so he goes to the break zone. He's out of play now. Okay, well, doesn't look too good for me for your next turn. I was anticipating you blocking with a few cards and clearing that field a little bit. So that didn't work out for me, so I guess it's your turn.
I get to activate Tifa because her frozen time is up. So I'm going to now draw 2 cards. And I'm also going to
And he's
activate...
back to 7,000?
Everything is reset back to normal.
Oh, great.
Okay, so I'm going to do some fun now. I'm going to get rid of my red 13 card because all I need is 2 now.
Can you pull the table a little bit that way? Because I'm leaning on the table here, and my playmat's kind of sliding off the table.
Well, okay, so as I said,
slick.
as I was saying, I'm discarding red to give myself 2 fire crystals, and I'm going to play Cloud.
I've heard about him.
And Cloud has an awesome little ability. Now, the reason I got to play him for only 2 is because, just like Lightning, Cloud reduces his cost by the number of Final Fantasy VII forwards I have out on the field. And I have 4 of them out on my field.
So you get to playing for 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Cloud also has an awesome ability. Any forward that's attacking gets 1,000 extra attack points.
Nice. He doesn't have haste, too, does he?
No, he does not have that.
Goodness.
but he has all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to attack for 8,000 with red.
Well, since I already have 4 damage in my damage zone, I've got to block with snow. And we got to say bye-bye to Snow. He's been with me so long, I hate to see him go. Mm-hmm. But he had to take one for the team.
Okay, I'm not done. I'm also going to attack for 8,000 with Vincent because he is a forward, and he gets the 1,000 until the end of the turn when he's attacking.
Well, now I don't have anybody to block with, so I must take a point of damage for 5.
And I will also attack with Barrett for 7.
This doesn't look good at all.
Nope.
And here is 6. And guess what?
And I'm going to attack for 9 with Tifa.
I can't believe how quickly this happened to me. I was going along with Lightning and Gilgamesh on my side. And there he goes. 7 points.
That wins me the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to show that I'm a good sport, I will shake my opponent's hand. You must always do that when you play games like these. Show that you are a good sport and you don't want to be a sore loser or a sore winner. But that's how you play Final Fantasy VII.
Well, thanks for teaching me the game. It would be better to learn the game by winning, but obviously sometimes that's not going to happen.
You know, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. But until next time, thanks for the views.
Okay. Thanks for letting me be on your show.
You're welcome. And that's all you need to know to play Final Fantasy TCG. One of the things I want to point out, though, before coming to a close, is that when Dave attacked me with his party attack, he attacked with lightning and snow, which is an ice and a lightning card. He only could have attacked me with a lightning and a lightning, or an ice and an ice. So it technically wouldn't have counted if it came through, but because it didn't, we're kind of on an okay thing. So, but if you have any questions about this game, please put them, once again, please put them in the comments below. And thanks again for the views.